Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tell Like It Is show with Leon David. I'm your host Leon David. This is my show. Let's get into the topic of the day. Yes, Disney is doing another remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, by looking at this picture, you might think it's Coco Brown and the Seven Homies, but no, it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So here's the thing with this. This is very woke. This is very politically correct. This is what they're trying to push out. Now, most of the time, I don't really care if they try to change a race or whatever of a character. It just depends on, like, okay, I see what you're doing. It's, I'm not stupid. I can see that this is a, woke kind of thing where you just want to make the person black for no reason, And when it comes to Snow White, her name is Snow White because of the fact that she is white like snow. She's like I believe she's German or something like that. It's like a German tale or something like that. So she's supposed to be like really, really white. That's the thing about Snow White, that you have to have a white person to play her, because that's why they call her Snow White. That's why her name is that. So they have this Hispanic woman playing her, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of know where this is going. And then I see the pictures of the seven. I guess you can't call them seven dwarves. You have to call them seven politically correct companions, because I only see one little person and the rest of them are just average height and tall. They just made them look short for the movie, which is pretty cold. I don't know why they did this. And you know what? They have some controversy about this movie. The fact that, well, number one is that the main character is Hispanic when she's supposed to be white. Number two, I don't really know why they changed the race of the dwarves. Like, I don't really care for that too much, but it is just weird how you make half of them black for no reason. And it's supposed to be seven men, but now they have a woman. This is just getting weirder and weirder the more I'm talking about this. But the biggest controversy is the fact that, well, there's only one little person playing in the role. Like, there have been some actors who are some, little people actors, and they're like, yo, you could have got some real little people to play these roles. This movie was made for little people. Like, it's in the title, Seven Dwarfs. Okay, I get it. It's hard to find a midget these days. It's not easy to find one, to just spot one. Especially, you don't want to look down on anybody, So it's not the easiest thing to do is to find a midget. But I'm sure they're out there somewhere. I'm sure they have their own city or something you can find them in. I'm sure they're out there. They're on TV more than ever. The midget show. What's that show called? Little People on a prairie or something like that. They're just out there. You can find a midget somewhere. In this movie, it's important for their race, to be in this movie. It's very important. You shouldn't just be like, yo, we don't need them. Yes, you do. I have a very soft spot for them, to be honest with you. I care about them a lot because they don't get the opportunity they deserve. You should be able to find one somewhere, because I don't think there's a job shortage for midgets. I mean, well, actually, there is a job shortage for midgets when it comes to acting, because, it's hard for them to find a decent job that, require their height. So, me growing up, I remember seeing, like three little people who was actors, and they were all guys, and it was rare to find any of them in the first place. Like, I remember the guy that played the Leprechaun in the Leprechaun horror movies. I think the other guy is, I think his name is Tony Cox, he's that black guy that was in like a lot of movies and TV shows back in the 90s and early 2000s. He was in Bad Santa and all that stuff, And then there was Mini-Me. Like, those were like the only guys I remember. Oh yeah, and Bushwick Bill from Ghetto Boys. But Bushwick Bill wasn't even an actor; he was a rapper. And those are like the only four little people that I remember growing up watching on TV. And it was rare to see anybody else. So this is like the opportunity of a lifetime. Like, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs are like the biggest. And it's sad because it take away the opportunity for little people, because this is made for them. Like, oh, now I can finally show people what I can do as an actor or actress. And now it's like, oh, we're just going to take all of this away from y'all. And instead of hiring little people, they just got regular people to play the role, regular height people to play the role. That's just messed up. So I'm about to read a little bit about this movie, and then I'm going to play a clip of this interview of this little person telling everyone how he feels about the movie. So let's get into it. Rachel Zegler says she's bringing a modern edge to Disney live-action Snow White. She's not going to be saved by the prince or dreaming about true love. Hollywood's later regurgitating of their most favorite hollow marketing line, Rachel Zegler has asserted that Disney's upcoming live-action remake of Snow White will be bringing a more contemporary bent to the classic story of its eponymous protagonist. Zegler provided insight into the House of Mouse updated version of their inaugural Disney princesses, doing an onstage appearance at the recent D23 Expo, taking a stage in promotion of the studio's latest attempt to lazily cash in on audience nostalgia. The actress informed attendees that she and the film's production team had given a modern edge to the enduring fairy tale. Later asked by Variety what she meant by this big declaration, Zegler explained, "I just mean it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White. She's not gonna be saved by the prince." Then interjected Gal Gadot, who stars in the film as the evil queen, to which Zegler agreed. She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. Instead, said the actress, she's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. The leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in. Zegler's concluded. Zegler's latest comments about Snow White's direction echoes those she previously made during a 2021 interview with BuzzFeed. Asked by the outlet about what she hopes to bring to the role of Snow White, Zegler replied, "There's not much I can say about it besides the fact that Snow White has consistently been criticized, even though she's the original Disney princess and we love her so much, but criticized for existing solely for a prince, existing solely to be rescued." I think our director Mark Webb and everyone who's working on this film has really taken her narrative and turned it into something that's a lot stronger. She continued, and I'm very, very excited to be able to bring this to life.
Here's my issue. My issue with everything Peter Dinklage has said with this whole situation about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and the remake coming. It's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's not Snow White and the seven normal-sized humans like every other movie. This is a fairy tale, a remake of a fairy tale, pardon me, and this is also giving seven dwarves, people, real-life people, actors, a chance to star in a movie in a role that is fit for them, literally fit for them. I can't, when The Greatest Showman came out, I couldn't be the main lead. I couldn't be P.T. Barnum. I could have been one of the side acts because that role was made for me. And the issue at hand is, by saying this, he's doing something worse for the dwarf and the little people community. He's trying to take roles away. It really blows my mind. The whole woke thing, you're going too far. In my opinion, it's too far. It's too much. You're trying to change something that doesn't need to be changed. There's nothing wrong with how dwarves were portrayed. He wants to say these cave dwellers. That's wrong. First off, they lived in a cottage. They worked, and they had a whole lot of gems. So in reality, they were rich. Let's be honest here. In a fairy tale world, these guys were rich, and they all had separate characteristics that really taught and made themselves different from each other. They weren't just one being of dwarves. Disney, reach out to me. I will take every dwarf role you want. It could be Snow White and 25 dwarves. I have 24 friends in the dwarf community that would do these roles. That's the issue here.
So after reading all of this and hearing what this guy have to say, basically what I get from this is that the movie is going to be pretty stupid. I mean, we all know that every time they do some kind of woke movie or TV show where, hey, well, let's change the race of this character, you know, let's change the gender, let's make this person gay, or let's make this person this, or let's make this person that, you know, it usually comes out as something really stupid. It's going to be lame, it's going to be dumb. Like, why are you doing this? The fact that she falls in love with a prince is the story. It's a story about true love and friendships and stuff like that. That's what makes it a fairy tale. This movie's gonna be stupid. This is the reason why I don't like wokeness, because they always say that their excuse is that they don't want to offend anyone. Oh, we don't want to offend anyone, so we're not gonna put 7 dwarves in there because we don't want to offend anyone. Because, you know, it was unfair back then to make a story about 7 little people. They do the same thing with us. It's like you watch a movie and they always go, well, we don't want to put any black people in there, you know, because it was racist back then, so we're going to change their race to something else. Because they were racist back then. But you can make it not racist. Even with these 7 little dwarves, you can make it not offensive by just writing it and not making it offensive. But that's the story. I mean, this story lasted for generations and generations and generations, and people still like it. It's probably because it's just a good story. So you make the movie, just tell a story, nobody's going to have a problem with it. If you truly love the story, then you're not going to have a problem with them actually just telling the story, because the story already been told. So we still like it, so why change it? They always make up the excuses for this stuff. Now you got 7 little people out of a job. So that's the problem that I have with this woke Hollywood nonsense. Like, come on, these are 7 people that need a job and you didn't give them a job at all. So let me know how you feel about the video in the comment section down below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can see a new video whenever I post. Until then, later.